links to join the channel here over at subscribe. So I also have a mailbox if you want to mail me a comic. If there's a book you want me to read or something like that. So Greece canceled. Shocking. Insert the shocked Pikachu face. So the show removed from streaming after just 3 weeks, but it still got awards. Okay. It's when the question is so coherent that it presents the answer. It's like the answer's right there. Can you just make the next logical step, the next conclusion? Like Bigot says what? Yeah, you know where I was going with that. So they replaced Olivia Newton-John with a bunch of ugly chicks, and you got canceled. Who saw that coming? Ray Charles. So one of the fembot idiots on Twitter said, why do all the diverse shows get canceled? Again, the question and the answer. It's like a Zen thing. Because, you idiot, diversity doesn't sell. People hate diversity. And when you say that to them, they immediately attack the person and not the argument, because there is no attack on somebody's opinion or objective fact. And when you, if you could have a discussion with these people and go, okay, let's talk about these issues without straw man or ad hominem. And they look at you as like that, sir, that's a bridge I just can't cross. I was taught what to think. I'm the participation trophy generation. Yeah, we were taught how to think, and that there could be diversity of thought, and that people could disagree without being disagreeable. And the past 20, 25 years have been, oh, no, we need to censor and deplatform people because we don't have a counter argument. Oh, yeah, that's kind of the question and the answer. It's like it's presented in the same seed. So diversity doesn't sell. That's just a brutal reality. And when they hear that, they immediately want to attack you. And you go, yeah, but is there a counter to the argument, not ad hominem to the man? That's very triggering for me. It should be like ad person, people kind, or something. So people hate diversity, and that's like more people need to say that. More people. So what you're saying is, I said what I said. What I'm saying doesn't matter. Or who says it doesn't matter. It's that it's said, and that's somebody's opinion. That opinion represents millions of people. These woke, blonde man bad, diverse shows where they erase the fair people of the light. Yeah, they don't sell at all. My interpretation is because diversity is cancer, as is feminism, globalism, anything like that. All the pox, walks, BLT, trans-free, otherkin type of stuff that doesn't connect to the audience. All they can do is strawman. So what you're saying is, I said what I said. It doesn't matter who said it or who they are. The only thing that matters is this bullshit propaganda doesn't sell. Why didn't you just make Grease came out, I don't know, 78 or something? I know it was a stage or musical stuff and started in 72, and it was very popular. And then they made the movie, which probably popular at the time. I don't remember at the time, but it was popular in reruns, more with a female audience. Hugely popular for some reason. And so was Karate Kid, again, more with a female audience. And so was, what was that movie about Footloose? I look back at all those movies now, I think, the subversive propaganda, especially in Footloose. Footloose and Karate Kid, too. Karate Kid, look at who the bad guys were, and look at their hair color. Then look at the good guys. Or even Revenge of the Nerds. Note the hair color. And then Footloose. Watch Footloose again and carefully, really watch Footloose and, just simply break down what happens. The guy goes to a small town that's functioning well and brings in his big city values of filth, degeneracy, corruption, and decay. Yeah, we're going to show those religious fuddy-duddies. I mean, there's so much more to say on this, but obviously not in YouTube. Don't say anything in the comments, Mr. Furfig. So, the thing is, the source of the information doesn't discredit the information. If Karl Marx is discussing companion planting for home gardening, I don't like feet. If he's accurate, it doesn't matter that he's an actual lizard-demon hybrid. But they replaced the European actors with Asians, Mexicans, Middle Easterners, and blacks. People should love the new show. Why would they? People are tribal. If you're Asian, you want to see a show that is all Asian. Same for all the other groups. You don't want to see a mixed cast. Only Hollywood and a few thousand Twitter idiots, commie kids, care about all that kind of BS. And then they say they care, but they don't put their money where their mouth is. I only say this because nobody, in fact, watched the show. Grease, Rise of the Pink Ladies, which sounds like kind of a prawn title. The ladies have their pink greased up and they're ready to whatever. So the original set in the late 50s, they came out in the 70s, and was a fun bit of ridiculous nonsense, sort of a timepiece, I guess. It had cool hot rods and actors who were way too old to play the roles. Olivia Newton-John was like 10 years out of date for that role, but she had such a young-looking face that she was able to pull it off, and it was stupid fun. It wasn't explicitly propaganda. So let me explain propaganda. They race swapped all the characters. Ask them why they did this departure from the original film. Why wouldn't you stick to the vibe of the first one, of what people know the show for? Because bigot, representation, inclusion, and diversity. But okay, let me ask, does that make the show better? In their mind, it does. And obviously, it doesn't. Because they have a hatred of people who look like you and I. But no, it doesn't make the show better to the general public because people want to see their tribe on screen, and the willing suspension of disbelief only goes so far. They want to see stories that make sense. So the story's set in the 50s, and it has this cast who's all put together. I mean, it doesn't even make sense in current year. Not really, and it certainly doesn't make sense in the 50s. The suspension of disbelief, only you just can't go that far. It's like you look at the screen, you're like, this is just propaganda. This is just some, like, every bullshit checklist is you just have a piece of paper and you're checking off the list. Including the point of making the blonde girl evil. So seeing a group of different people doesn't make sense because people are very national. They're very ethnicity based now, especially over the past few years. They're looking at their tribe, their own like blood tribe, and they're getting like Civ nationalism is on the way out. You saw what happened to the Proud Boys. And this like tribalism, blood tribalism type of stuff is very much. It's just kind of new. It's not exactly nationalism. I'm not exactly sure what you call it. I guess you call it tribalism. But they're like, people are not into this kind of mixed globalism, this bullshit found family. Social media is moving. The right is moving to the right. I'm gonna do a video on Subscribestar for how the someone pointed out the alt-right is the alt-light talking points, the alt-light of like the Paul Joseph Watsons, the Mark Dices, and a bunch of those kind of guys. They're actually kind of the alt-right now. They have like the same talking points from 2015, 2016. If you follow like some of their Twitter posts, I did, and I'm gonna do this video because I was reading like some of the things like the Jack Pussybics were saying, and PJWs, and some of them were kind of saying it reluctantly, but like they were saying it, and it's like if you actually look at what they're saying, it's way further to the right than what it used to be, and the left is going further left too. Anyway, people, why would someone prefer to be around people with different values and beliefs? Like it's like over the long term, people have interests adverse to each other. It's like, oh, but the great restaurants, and it's like, yeah, you get recipes for that. Like in the real world, that just doesn't sell, and you don't want to see that reflected on screen because it's propaganda. You look around your own friend group, it's like, yeah, it's not really that way. And if a soy boy hears me say this, they immediately will attack me instead of the true statement, and they know it's true, but they have no counter argument to it. So they have to attack the speaker, and if they do, they're racist and sexist because I am a woman of color. That doesn't make them stronger. All it does is cause conflict. It's ridiculous that it's politically incorrect to say what is so obvious. And, every day you got to push you got to do your part to push the window further to the right. When you get on social media, you just have to be kind of... you have to pretend to be unaware about social niceties and say things that are kind of politically incorrect. Like, it has to be right, this fine line of saying blunt, honest things that are politically incorrect. Like, oh no, I prefer to be around my own tribe. I don't want to see other people on screen. Like, you just have to put it out there, and to kind of shock them a little bit. But it's this riding this fine line. It's probably why I'm sitting a week out on Twitter for, basically speaking truth to power. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to just keep pushing this window because they don't know how to deal with people who are. You're not saying hateful, trolling things. You're just saying brutally honest things. Like, no, I don't want to see other people on screen. I just want to see my tribe. Like, I don't want to support other people. It's freaking funny as hell because they do it with their tribe as well. But when you do it back to them, they get so triggered, and you look at them and go like, but you guys do the same thing for all your different groups. Why are you shocked when other groups are suddenly doing it back? And like, they don't have a counter argument to that. It's so much fun. The new Twitter is really insane. The thing is, why on earth would anyone give a darn about surface level diversity? That's just globalist propaganda by people who hate themselves. Another stupid thing these idiots said is that the show won awards, and it went for 10 episodes, but then 3 weeks after they let it stream for 3 weeks, and then they canceled it. So the thing is, for the awards, what does it tell you about the soy boy pussy who gave the show an award? Is the one woke panty sniffing pervert right and the audience wrong? No, it tells you that the awards are totally meaningless because they're so biased that they don't reflect the audience. The audience is telling you that this is too woke for them, or maybe it's for some other reason, but it's not selling. The people giving the award are simply giving it an award because it's globalist propaganda pushing a bullshit narrative. I want you to see all that double chin. So it's oh god, you're just rough. Oh, that's yeah. Someone who best of luck. Anyway, the thing is, it's the 1950s, and you have all these different groups who hate each other, all hanging out together. How does that happen? It doesn't. It's Hollywood, and you're istophobic for mentioning it. Wait, I'm the problem for pointing out a very obvious flaw in a stupid show. A show so stupid it won't one season. Hugo Boss says what? How do they always know what I'm wearing? It's amazing. The problem isn't their garbage show. The real problem is the YouTube people saying how crap it is. That's one of the reasons they were incandescent with rage over diversity in comics. They can't handle any criticism at all, including some guy sitting in a car holding a camera, a cell phone in one hand, and a comic in the other, turning pages with one hand, kind of awkwardly trying to film the whole thing, talking about how stupid these comics are. And they wanted to delete him, his dozens of wives around the world, and his kids, and all kinds of horrific stalking behavior, like just advocating grievous bodily injury to him and people surrounding him. And that was just accepted in the comic book industry at the time, like the mainstream comic book industry. It's like, oh, well, yeah, well, okay, well, let's ignore that. Ignore the threats of violence to this guy. The real problem is him criticizing comics. Like, no, the real problem is the death threats against him and his family. Surely you see that, right? No, I'm gonna take my pants off and send a picture of my butthole to EVS. Robbie Rodriguez, I think, did that. And it's funny because like a lot of those mainstream comics guys turned out to be sexual harassers. Like, aren't you mainstream comics guys? Didn't you guys like pass around a petition that promised for you not to sexually harass people or something bizarre like that? Like, why would anyone sign a petition like that? That's oh man, it's got to be rough being a soy boy. You really, like, there's no humiliation you won't partake in, and then they press you to sign this. Like, but I'm a woman of color, so I'm marginalized and oppressed. Anyway, so the funny thing is, the creator of the show, Annabelle Oakes, says she is devastated at the show being pulled after only 3 weeks. She says that it's a brutal move to be completely erased, except she race swapped everyone in the show and erased all the European characters who would have been in the show at the time. How does she feel about erasing those people and the audience expectations of seeing the show as it was intended? The Grease, it's what it's known for. You remember the original movie. Everyone saw the original movie, at least, probably not the sequel, but they know like that's what they expect. And then they turn this and they say like, what the hell is this cancer? It's not Grease. This is just some bullshit checklist from some cat lady globalist soy boy production team. Oh yeah, that's exactly what it was. It's friggin' horrible. So it's odd that she doesn't seem concerned about that. And why would she? It's not a throwback show to her. If it was, it would look like the original Grease. It's just, and the thing is, it would be massively successful if it did look like the original Grease. It's just a vehicle to carry propaganda. It went one season, 10 episodes, streamed for 3 weeks, and got pulled entirely from the service for the simple reason that nobody watched it because not enough people were brain damaged. The show was insane BuzzFeed level woke cancer. Are there lesbians? Oh, you bet your ass there are lesbians. Unfortunately, very ugly ones and without boobs. Is there an evil, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, cliche, beautiful girl to focus all your racial hatred on? Of course. Because if you see blonde, then you see evil, which is sort of weird when you consider all the... never mind. So the lead characters are a short-haired, boobless lesbian, an Asian, a vaguely mixed Middle Eastern, I guess, and a Mexican. So, but she's not, not too Mexican. Because it's Hollywood. So the Hollywood thinks all 4 groups would just absolutely love the show, except the reverse is true. Like, they think all 4 groups are going to watch the show because they're represented. Yeah, that's not how the real world works. Nobody watched it. It got canceled, as did Willow and the Witcher Blood Origins and, what other She-Hulk, whatever kind of woke propaganda they put out there, where it's this Bolshevik found family of the diversity. Yeah, people hate that, and more people just need to say, oh, that's stupid, I hate diversity. So what you're saying is, no, without the ad hominem. I just gave you an opinion. I represent millions of people. It's millions of people who want to see their tribe on screen. No, I prefer to see my tribe reflected on screen. I want to see a show with just all blonde, light-haired, light-eyed European people on screen. Just say that over and over again and see the response you get on Twitter. They lose their effing minds when you say that. No, I just want to see a show with just European people. I feel more comfortable. I feel marginalized and oppressed, disenfranchised, and othered if I don't see just my people on screen. And see how well that works for. And they lose their mind. You go, but you guys do little Korean shows over here, and some little Middle Eastern shows over here, and black shows over here. I just want to see blonde hair, blue eyed people, green eyed, red hair, that kind of stuff on screen. Can I get that? I guess sorry, Mediterranean people. Okay, you can throw them in too. I just want to see that on screen. Can I get shows with just that on screen? Because I really hate diversity. I think there's enough diversity just within the European collection. No. And they would lose their effing mind. Which I say this kind of stuff on Twitter all the time, which is why I'm just about to get kicked off Twitter. Anyway, nobody watched this show because all these different groups hate each other and they only want to see themselves on screen. Why can't more people just be honest? Like, well, because you'll just get kicked off YouTube if you say that. Oh, that's why they're not. Yeah, I don't make any money on YouTube anyway, so it's not really the end of the world. I'm on Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute. Eventually, I'll move to Gab TV when they get live streaming, maybe Shing TV to a live streaming platform. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Subscribestar too. There are some videos that go on Subscribestar either first or just on Subscribestar because sometimes you can't put them anywhere else because BitChute is kind of tricksy. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys all next episode.